Hello guys, so I've done a lot of videos where I'm showing you clear examples of where it's cheaper or better in some way to lease a car possibly than buying a new or even a used car, maybe like a 3-year-old car. And I don't want to keep making the same video again, so I'm trying to prove the other argument. Lots of people give me a lot of grief because I tell them not to do PCP because there's better options for it. And I want to try and see their side of the argument, and I never can really. I can never really see it. So I've been digging around and thinking about what's going on in the world at the moment, the way the market's changing, the way used car prices are high, the way there's a shortage of microchips, which is, delaying new cars coming to market, and that perfect sort of storm, and trying to find a car where you might be better off to do a PCP. So I'm just going to run you through my calculations here, and hopefully it gives you something to think about. Let's have a look and see if we come up with any conclusions. Just before we get any further into this one, please give the video a thumbs up right now. YouTube don't promote my content because I don't get anywhere near enough thumbs up. Hopefully you're watching this for free. Just throw me a bone and give me a thumbs up. It means a lot. Thanks. Bye. Right, so I've picked the Model 3 for several reasons. A, they're massively popular. It's probably the most popular EV. I've gone for the performance model, so it's the top spec model, so that's the highest price model. And, they're fairly thin on the ground. So I've also gone for this one because I was looking for a second-hand Tesla on Kazoo, and there's one. That's it. There's one. So that's the one we're using for the example. I'll just show you that one. It's there, £52,000. It's a 2-year-old one, and it's done 1,200 miles, this one. 2019, it's done 1,280 miles, so it's nearly a new car. And I'll explain, I'm using a few assumptions as we go. So I've looked at pricing from Tesla Direct with Kazoo for the used one, Tesla Direct for a new one, Kazoo for the used one, and then I'm looking at lease on leasing.com and with Tesla to show you the differences there. And let's have a look. This is a 3-year, 12,000 mile deal, by the way, as they all are. Right, so PCP price on that used car, 52 grand, HP price 52 grand. It's a 52 grand car. Deposit example, I've used the same as that comes up on the lease so that they're all on an even keel. It's £2,872 down as your deposit in all of these examples. And then you're looking at £990 a month on a PCP, 990 quid a month on the PCP. But if you want to keep the car at the end of that 3-year period, you've got to pay 23 grand. And then on the HP, it's just straight deposit and then monthly payments for 3 years, and then you own the car, end of. So it's 1,552 quid a month though, which is quite a large monthly payment. I mean, that's a good mortgage, isn't it? Bloody good mortgage. And then you've got your total cost to own the car at the end there. I've then looked at PCP on a new car, and you're looking at 59,990 as the new price, 2,872 quid down, £1,102 a month, balloon payment at the end of 23,396. So that's cost £66,029. We then move on to the lease. So I've found a lease through leasing.com. Again, 3-year deal, 12,000 miles, £2,872 deposit, 833 a month. So you paid 32,800 quid for that lease. And then obviously there's no balloon payment. You haven't got the option to buy the car, or if you do get the option, you won't know what it is until it's more or less time for the car to go back. So we're just going to discount the fact that you might be able to own it at the end. Same lease through Tesla, same deposit, but it's 912 quid a month. So it ends up costing you about 3 grand more over the 3-year period. I just wanted to show you that so you can see that there's a difference in the lease price between manufacturer and going, to a broker. Right, so it's impossible for me to get a price of a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old Model 3 because they aren't around. So I've gone to We Buy Any Car and I've put in the reg number of that £52,000 one, but I've put it in as if it had 38,000 miles on the clock, which if you do 12,000 miles a year in it for 3 years, that's what it's going to end up. Just to get an idea of the amount the mileage is going to, the amount of effect that mileage is going to have on the price. Now, on the 1,280 miles that it was advertised with, the price was about 49 grand. So it's knocked around about 7 grand off the price having that sort of mileage on it. There is no science to this whatsoever. I'm just trying to use what I've got to give best guess. But there are a few caveats. I'll just give you those caveats now, actually. So what I'm not considering here, I'm considering the used car prices as they are right now and what I think is going to happen with the price of a used Tesla. It's not based on any more science than that. So, you know, if you're not happy with that, duck out at this point, because that's it. All I can use is my best guess, because a Tesla of that age doesn't exist. The other thing at the moment is you have to think about with electric cars, every year the new car price is forecast to reduce. There's also an expectation that the range is going to improve every year. So it might be that every year the price of a new one comes down by 5%, and the range, the mileage you can get out of the car, is going to go up by 5%. And if so, you know, after 3 years, it might be that car's 15% less to buy new, and it's got 15% more range in it. And that might make your car much less attractive, especially as you get a bit of battery depreciation and stuff. So your car that says it will do 300 miles of range might actually only do 260 now. And the new ones come out that's a fair bit less to buy new, and that now does 350 or 325. There is a good likelihood that your car's going to be less desirable as it gets a bit older, with EVs especially. Okay, so bear that in mind. I did a video a while ago on why it's possibly a good idea to lease and not own an EV, and it's because of that, because the new price is always going down and the range is always going to go up. And of course there's going to be more competition for Tesla. We've already seen it this year from probably some fairly unexpected quarters, haven't we, like Hyundai and Kia causing real competition for Tesla. So that's only going to increase. And, you know, some of the big car brands are going to get better and better at EVs to combat Tesla, basically. So forgetting all that, I've just tried to come up with what I think these cars are going to be worth at the end of their deal. That brand new car, I'm saying at the end of 3 years with 36,000 miles on it, it's going to be worth 37,500. That's based on the fact that a 2-year-old one with 37,000 miles on it's 42. So, and again, we're not talking about retail price, we're talking about what you can get for it. 42 grand for a 2-year-old one with that mileage on. So maybe a 3-year-old one with that mileage on, 37,500. It's probably a fair enough kind of guess. Okay, and it is a guess. Right, then if we look at the used car, so that one that's already 2 years old, and we put another 3 years on top of that, and the mileage on that. Again, I've used the same methodology, but I've just thought I'm going to take a 5 grand a year off for depreciation. And there really, really is no more science to it than that. So this could be horribly, horribly wrong. Who knows? So on the basis of this, at this point, to own the car, you've paid 61 grand. This is the PCP on the used car. You've paid 61.5 grand. And the HP on it, you've paid 58.5 grand. The value of it is 27.5. So the cost of ownership to you is 34 grand on that one, 31,244 on that one. Now the PCP on a new car, nearly 3 grand down, 1,100 a month. You've then got that balloon payment of 23,400 quid. But at the end of it, hopefully you've got a car that's worth 37,500, somewhere around that. And that means you've got a total cost of ownership of 28,440. So using this example, that's cheaper than either of the leases, the PCP on the used car or the HP on the used car. Obviously, this is done on a lot of throwing numbers in the air and having a good guess, but I have done this in a completely fair way, as fair a way as I can think of, and I'm using my best powers of prediction. But once again, that's all it is. This is not science. Don't beat me up and say, oh God, why have you said that? It's never going to be... Blah, 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 blah. This is just off the top of my head. But this is the first time I've done one of these kind of exercises, and I've thought a PCP might be the best way to go. And as you can see, the PCP on the new car is a better deal than the PCP on the used car in this particular example. And would you rather have a new car or a used car? This is the first time I've ever done this, and it's worked out that the PCP is the best option. But in this particular case, I think the PCP is the best option. So I hope your mind's not too blown by that, because obviously I'm not a massive fan of PCP deals in general, but there is always going to be the time when that is the best option, and this appears to be it. I've looked at about 15 other cars before doing this just quickly, and they were all better to do a lease, every one of them, apart from one actually that was more or less equal with the PCP. So yeah, bear that in mind and really look at all of this before you press the button on car finance. I would have normally looked at bank loan as well, and that would have been a good option, I'm sure, but finding someone to quote you for a 60 grand bank loan for a car online is not very easy. You can usually find online calculators for loans up to about 25 grand, somewhere around that area, maybe 30 grand. But you get up to like 60 and it's not too easy. Bit of food for thought for you guys. And if anything, it shows you that you should always inspect and not expect, something they used to tell me at work years ago. But always look at it properly and take in all the information and look at every possible angle. Also, remember that those used prices are really inflated at the moment because of the fact there's a shortage of microchips, which is meaning new car production's being held up. Used car prices are ridiculously strong as a result of it, much stronger than they have been for years. So by the time 3 years rolls round, that 37,500 value on that new one, it might have 7.5 grand lopped off it by then. Equally, if Tesla suddenly come out with a new Model 3 that's only 50 grand and it's got 450-mile range, what's this car going to be worth? And we know the rate of change and the rate of improvement in that EV sector is going through the roof. So probably the sensible person still seriously considers a lease, but using the numbers I've got there and on today and the way the market is today and everything else, probably today, forget about what might happen to the economy in the future. Based on that, it's better to have a PCP. Guys, please give the video a thumbs up. It means a lot, and I need more thumbs up on my videos because YouTube aren't promoting them nearly enough. And I really need more of you to start sharing these things on social media and stuff. So please do that. I'll love you forever, like brothers and sisters. So yeah, please show it some love. Give it a thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do so. There's a ton of content like this on my channel. I've done over 100 videos now, so please go and check some of those out. And I'm going to be spending more time to this, committing more time to my videos in future, and hopefully the type of content I produce will be a bit more varied in future, and with some better production maybe. There's a thought. Thanks ever so much for watching, guys. Take it easy. See you next time.